coming to you live here from Raymond Island. Small island in the Gippsland Lakes in eastern Victoria, Australia, about 300 kilometers from Melbourne. The island's approximately 6 kilometers long by 2 kilometers wide. It is just 200 meters off the coast from the town of Plainsville. We are here with the 84th edition of Grand Platypus Open, number 84. I'm, of course, your host, Yaku of ZvZ, and with me today is El Alto Koala que Menulugia como un baller, Light_VIP. How we doing, Light?
Isn't that Chase? What's up, Yaku? What's up? It's great to be back here in the second last GPO of the entire year, mate. We're almost done with 2021.
What?
I know, right? It's crazy. If only, mate. If only it was still 2019.
Holy. I would have had much more youthful vigor. Question mark.
You would have saved your money and not bought a goddamn piano. That was what you would have done, mate.
Yeah, it's because of all of it. But yes, we are in fact back. And after the very special edition we had last week, we, of course, have to follow the reigning champion. Here on the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, LE, the red Zerg player from the land of India, representing Alpha X. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have a bit of an MSO player trying to test the waters here. He is the Australian Teal Zerg. It is WhitePuma. What am I looking at?
It's a burrito.
There's a lot going on right now, okay? He's not White Idra, he's a WhitePuma, but he also has a Mr. Burrito clan tag.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And this man went
part of the White clan.
He went 3 hatch before gas. He's being insanely greedy right now. Oh my god.
Huh. Well, question on our minds would naturally be, how will Demi punish this? But first he's got to realize that he is up against a 3 hatch player.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess round it all back, wind it back a little bit. As you were saying, yes, Demi, of course, is last week's champion. This week, you have a couple more players, so we don't have that kind of just 2-man finals that we had last week. Also, shout out to Go Joey. Despite having work, he was able to rush back home and sign up and check in just in time.
Yeah. All it took were a couple of red lights.
It's fine.
He made it in time.
No one got hurt, okay? It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh god. But yes, Go Joey, he is making his return here. Unfortunately, Miyamika has still not shown up. I do kind of, Funada Miyamika, last week he slept in. I imagine he slept in again this week.
See, I thought he was the person who got caught up in the red light. But I remembered that they do live in different cities, so... I gotta imagine Go Joey now just swerving around the mean streets of Hong Kong. Just try to get back in time.
Yeah. I mean, at least he was able to get home safe and sound, so we should see some of him later on today. Meanwhile, yeah, WhitePuma, he so far has gotten away with his greed. Demi, he didn't throw down his own Bailey nest or anything like that. He's sending links across the map now, but enough time has passed where WhitePuma should have units to defend. I said you should have units to defend.
You say should.
Yeah, like because of his lack of guy, he has no lings. Like he's only defending with queens.
And 3 queens can do quite a lot against these low numbers of lings, but even without them, Demi is able to jump in and target down a couple of these drones. Thankfully, WhitePuma is keeping most of them in the natural.
Yeah.
But Demi's just gonna bide his time.
Exactly, like 4 drones go down. This third base is honestly pretty exposed, all things considered. The natural is pretty well fortified, but again, it's the third that I'm worried about. WhitePuma, heavily supply blocked. He makes 5 overlords, and this man, is he going 2-base muta? Like,
Well, we got a lot of gas, and we got a Roach Warren with no roaches out.
Ooh.
But he is getting +1 range, so you have to imagine he's just going to go into a quick Galad Reconstitution. Demi trying to bust his way into the natural.
Oh my god, the queens! They need to get over here. They need to transfuse, but there's no creep connecting the bases, and it looks like they will get here, but not before. Oh, transfuse just in time.
Ooh. Could have been a lot more dicey here. But once again, WhitePuma is still getting away with his greed, and thankfully he's not going for mutas.
Yeah.
He is making a ton of roaches now, so yeah, these 3 bases, he's going to be able to mine from them very, very shortly. Well, I say that, but Demi is far ahead in the worker count.
Yeah, we were talking about this 3rd base earlier and how exposed it was. Finally, we see drones in production here for WhitePuma, but they are so late. You can see he's down 16 workers. He's up against a player who's getting a 4th base. He is ahead in upgrades. I assumed he was going to go all in with like a roach timing, but he's droning up as well, which is making this a little bit awkward.
Yeah, this definitely isn't a timing that I have to imagine too many people are comfortable with. Especially if you're up against this, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be scratching your head a little.
Yeah, and we'll see what WhitePuma decides to do. Like, obviously, he could try and hit a timing with 1-1, or he could get 1-1 and then forego it and try to go for like a +2 timing instead, and, you know, try and do something with that. The ball is kind of in WhitePuma's court. Unfortunately, his like roach upgrades aren't well lined up with his roach speed, so because of that, I don't know if he wants to move out without roach speed.
Yeah, that's just asking for your roaches to get surrounded by the amount of lings that Demi already has, and just get targeted down as they're isolated by the roaches he's getting now.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Demi does scout all 3 bases. He confirms the drone count at the 3rd, which honestly isn't very high. Meanwhile, the army's moving out, and Demi just has vision all over the place. He sees everything, mate.
He's already prepared. He's going to allow WhitePuma to move in a little bit. And just get a complete concave on top of this army. It doesn't matter that WhitePuma has the higher roach count at the moment, because they're not here to fight.
Exactly, the roaches, they're coming across the map. WhitePuma does hit a timing, and he does have the upgrade advantage. But as the game goes on, Demi, his upgrades are about to finish up.
It's just about able to equalize when it comes to the upgrades, and that defender's advantage is no slouch either when it comes to helping him hold. WhitePuma is gaining a little bit of ground.
Yeah,
but he's not quite able to reinforce as quickly as Demi can.
Exactly, the first push was his strongest as the game went on. The defender's advantage, right? The reinforcements were more than enough here for Demi. Demi defends beautifully, and now WhitePuma, he's down in workers, he's down in bases. He does have 2-2 on the way, and this is what I wanted. I wanted to see him hit a 2-2 timing instead, you know, just wait a little bit longer. But he went a little bit earlier. It made his push that much more committed, and now he's in a rough place.
To say the least. I wonder if he even plans to get a 4th base at this point, because, you know, it might just be futile. May as well just try to get more roaches out, and hopefully Demi hits an awkward timing for WhitePuma, but it's not looking too likely.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, WhitePuma is trying to get a 4th base. He's droning up. He's also working on a Hydra Den, so really ambitious. Now is a great timing for Demi, though. He comes across the map. He has such a massive supply advantage. He's almost maxed out, mate.
Yeah, and for all intents and purposes, you know, against WhitePuma's army, Demi may as well be maxed out.
Yeah, exactly.
GG is called. Demi takes game number 1.
Yeah, GG, well played. Demi with a beautiful defense and then an even better counterattack. Unfortunately, WhitePuma just had a really rough start of things. Like, I liked how quirky he was being with his build, but again, like, he wasn't really able to make much use of that fast 3rd hatchery in the end, right?
Yeah, unfortunately not. Just the amount of pressure Demi was throwing his way very early into the game meant that he couldn't drone up anywhere near as much as he wanted to. By the time he was free to drone up, Demi had already taken advantage of all of that map control that he had and just overtook him by 20 drones or something like that.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. Like, when the push came across the map, like, sure, WhitePuma had the army supply advantage, but not by much, right? Not by much at all. Yeah. And he was down, like, already 20 workers by that point.
Gotta say, though, it would have been interesting to see if or how effective it would have been if WhitePuma did go for that roach brick, as you were that you were talking about, right? Where he gets 2-2, just tries to max out as quickly as possible. The old Stefano method, as I like to call it.
Yeah. Maybe it could have worked. Maybe. I mean, it's all kind of up in the air. He would have had to drone up, I feel, a little bit more to do that. I don't know. It's hard to say because it is a much later timing. But yeah. Interesting game one, and we'll see how he does in game two.
Kuro is telling us that in his MSO debut, which I believe that was the first tournament of ours that he played in, he also went 3 hatch before gas. So it's something that he does in just about every ZvZ WhitePuma, I mean.
Yeah, I guess it could just be his go-to in ZvZ. We'll see if he has other builds up his sleeve there.
Or in his paws.
There you go.
Aha. Up his tail? No, that doesn't make sense.
Good.
We're getting ready.
WhitePuma's trying to make sure he's mannered. He did GG.
Yeah.
He did GG.
He did. We can confirm that. We have video evidence that it was the case.
Twas. Boy, I love it, mate. The puma versus the shark. Who comes out on top, mate?
Oh, the cat versus the fish.
Okay. It's a shark.
We have emotes for both of that. Yeah. But it's a fish without bones, so, you know.
What?
Yeah. Sharks are the bones. Anyways, we are going to be continuing our series here on Hotwire LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, swinging all the way to the top right-hand corner. We have the red Zug player coming out from the land of India. Some call him the Boneless because he is also known as the Shark. He's going to be representing Alpha X. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is teal representing Ome Giggity, Senor Taco. It is WhitePuma.
Fun fact about Pumas. They don't have
bones.
Roaring capability. Yeah, they don't have bones in the throat area that allows them to roar.
They're just like sharks, mate. They're basically worms.
Exactly. That's why cats are so whatchamacallit, slender. You know, you can put them in a cup and drink them.
There you go. There you go.
Just like sharks.
Oh god, and we'll see. I'm curious about
my Yaku animal facts.
God damn it, Yaku! Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head. Yaku also thinks that you can get high if you eat a koala.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say eucalyptus.
Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head. So I was curious to see if WhitePuma was gonna go for the same opener, and I guess he is.
Every ZvZ, Guro's telling us.
Mate, this is so...
Every ZvZ.
This is so greedy. Like, I don't...
Look. At least it's not 3 hatch versus before pool.
It's not.
You know?
It could be worse. You're not wrong. It could be 3 hatch before pool. But yeah, I am really concerned just because I feel like this does die to Ling Bane aggression. Obviously, WhitePuma is going to be working on a wall and stuff like that. But yeah, it feels
well the natural.
True. Exactly.
I do have to appreciate that Demi isn't going overly aggressive, but we'll see if that changes once Metabolic Boost finishes up. He himself is just making sure that, you know, if he can't kill WhitePuma initially, he's still stable to go into the mid game.
Yeah. I mean, he scouted the third base. Demi is well aware of it, so he gets his own third. Obviously, it's later, but the big advantage that Demi has is that he has gas. And he can Link Flood, and he can deny this third base. Like, we saw in Game 1 how the Link showed up and just killed 4 drones, essentially for free. And if Demi commits even harder to that kind of Link Flood, I mean, he can get the queens.
Speaking of committing harder to Link Flood, that is 14 in production to the 8 that we've already got. I don't think we're gonna even need a Baneling Nest here.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Like going for like delaying your gases like this means that you have no Baneling Nest. Means like how do you deal with Link Floods? You wall off? Question mark? You can't wall off the third.
Yeah. Or can you?
Oh god. Oh god. Can he even wall off the natural? Get the wall up. Get it up, puppy. Get it up. Up.
The wall is in fact up, or at least it's in the middle of getting up. The buildings are still at very, very low health. They could try to be... Demi could try to whittle them down. But instead he takes the safer choice and opts to prevent the Cert from getting up.
Yeah, the third base will go down, and now WhitePuma is stuck on 2 bases. Once again, he's taking all of his gases and he's skipping Link Speed. He wants to go straight into Roaches, but like this is 300 minerals down the drain.
Pretty much. This is probably the hardest contain in a ZvZ I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh boy. So we'll see if WhitePuma can come back from this. Obviously, like he's pretty solid on 2 bases. But Demi can take advantage of this. He can drone up if he wanted to. He could take a 4th base even. Roach Warren is on the way, so he's not too far behind in that respect as well.
Everything WhitePuma's doing, Demi's doing faster, essentially.
Yeah. Even the upgrades are faster, surprisingly.
Of course, there are different upgrades, but you know, it's negligible.
It kind of is, and now the ball is in WhitePuma's court. Like, what does he do from here? You know, especially once he gets his lair up. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to not necessarily 2-base Muta, but maybe even like 2-base Nidus, maybe like I don't know, something to take advantage of this situation, right?
Yeah, it's just a way to try to get Demi to get back home, send all the roaches across the map into Nidus. Because if he sends them out the old-fashioned way, they're just gonna get surrounded.
Yeah. Exactly. Like WhitePuma, he stopped droning up. He's making a pretty large roach count, right? Like it's pretty huge. Like, but you don't want to send them slowly across the map. So either go into a fast lair for roach speed, or go for dropper lords or a Nidus. Or he could just try and go for a waddle buy, I guess. Is that the plan? It's the plan!
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
Guess he's had enough of having 3 bases.
Oh boy, and now the question is, does Demi have enough at home to defend?
The answer is, yeah.
He's actually got
should, anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't help the WhitePuma's supply box right now.
Yeah, and these are slow roaches on the map like Hardwire. If he doesn't kill Demi with this, there's no way he's going to be able to reinforce his army.
Yeah, exactly. The roaches are about to show up, but immediately they do get surrounded. Ling's doing such a great job to buffer here for the roaches of Demi, and finally the Lings are going to get cleaned up, but already there's more than enough roaches here for our Indian player, mate.
Yeah, those couple of volleys right at the start makes all the difference here for Demi. And now his upgrade, or soon-to-be upgrade advantage, is going to be even better. Never mind, because the game ends before that can happen. GG, Demi takes that series 2-0. I didn't even have time to get the GG button ready. Oh, it's connected to my earbuds again.
Goddamn, G. GG, well played. Congratulations, Demi. He moves on, and I am shocked because this was not the fastest series today.
What? Aries!
Oh my god.
Phoenix again, Aries.
Kuro did let us know that he played Terran this time. He played Terran.
Okay.
But wow, I'm shocked that Aries versus Ashen one was faster than the Demi versus WhitePuma.
Yeah, I have to wonder what went on in that series. Out, it would be a TVP. If my memory is correct. Who proxied whom? That's what I want to know.